Summer is in session at Icon Park. Welcome back for episode 2, season 2 of Summer Sessions, a Carlton Media pre-season podcast. My name is Christian Filippo, your host. Rose Zaruki is our producer, and our guest today is someone who admittedly we've been trying to get on this show ever since it started, and we finally got him. He's had a fairly big off-season, which I'm sure we'll get into, and he was also called the Giver of Joy by Michael Voss, and neither of us know exactly what that means, so we'll try and figure that out. He's the man of many nicknames here around Icon Park, so please welcome Mr. Matthew Kennedy.
Thank you, Critter. Thanks for having me. It's a big honour. I'm a big fan of the show, mate. I've been waiting for the invite. I just haven't got it yet.
You've had about 6 invites over the course of over 12 months,
Yeah.
and we're going to break the fourth wall here. You said podcasts isn't me, but now you're here.
Yeah. No, I just had to build into it. Watch a few episodes, get a bit of info, mate. But, pleased I got another call up, so thanks for having me.
No, more than happy to have you here. I feel like you'll back yourself with this one. Our first question all the time is the same question. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Go-to? I've got a few, because I actually quite like the dance floor. Probably at the minute, it's probably a bit of Jessie's Girl.
Yep.
Oh, actually, no, I'll take it back. It's Love Story, Taylor Swift.
That's a great shout.
Yeah, because that was the last song of the wedding night, and it went off, so I think that's my go-to at the minute.
You'd be a yeller more than you'd be a try and sing the...
Yeah, no, I'm a
lyrics correctly.
screamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a real get sloppy, get into it sort of operator.
Are you a Taylor Swift fan, or was it just because of the wedding that you felt like you had to?
I've been sort of forced into because my wife, she loves it, Marianne, so I'm getting around to it. But I've sort of liked her early sort of country sort of vibe.
Picture to Burn and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, not so much the new stuff, but I'm a big old school Taylor Swift fan.
Well, we're at the wedding, so we might as well start there. We called you
Yeah.
Mr. Kennedy to start the show.
Yeah.
How's Mrs. Kennedy?
Mrs. Kennedy, I hope she's well. Anyway.
You'd hope so, yes.
Yeah, you would want to hope so. We've had an absolute roller coaster sort of couple of months. The whole build up to the wedding, and then the wedding itself, it was just such an awesome day. I got told it was going to go quick, and it certainly did go quick. But just to see all the people there that are there for both of myself and Marianne, just see how happy everyone was and how excited they all were. My uncle, he's a bishop up in Newcastle now. We're really grateful. He made the effort to come down and he married us in the St. Michael's Cathedral in Wagga, which was very special. And it was just a great day. And I wish I could already have it back and just enjoy it again, because I think there's just so many small things you worry about on the day that everyone's having a good time and stuff like that. So... Mrs. Kennedy's going great. Still even sounds
Does it sound
funny,
weird?
you know? Yeah. I could still call it like Marianne Kennedy, and like when you're writing your name down on stuff. So we're getting used to the adjustment, but absolutely loving married life so far, mate. And it's very exciting times, but probably still that honeymoon period at the minute where everything's just new and crazy and surreal, and really enjoyable.
You went to Fiji?
Yeah, we went to Fiji for the honeymoon. That was awesome. The people there are just so nice, so lovely. We got out to a few different places out in the villages and stuff like that. And when you're talking to them, they ask the reasons why you're here. And we said, we're on our honeymoon. So we had to get up and do a bit of a honeymoon dance with the people in the village. That was great. Very welcoming. Had to drink this like carver drink. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Very funny taste. But yeah, it was just such an awesome experience just to go around in a couple of different villages and see the different cultures. But yeah, the weather was really good. We experienced actually, first day we got there, it was a bit overcast, pretty poor conditions. And then we experienced a cyclone on the third night. So that's the experience. But everyone seemed so calm about it that we felt pretty calm. And it was during the night, so we actually slept through it. So... it was awesome, and I'll be definitely heading back one day, that's for sure.
The camera's on. The full broadcast is on our YouTube channel these days. Do you want to give us an example of the dance, or not quite?
That was a be there moment, I think. Yeah, I won't be repeating that dance, but it involved a bit of hip movement, mate, so it was awesome. I enjoyed it, but I won't be doing that again.
Fair enough, I don't blame you. Has Sam Walsh given you?
4?
Leaving him?
Oh, forgive me. I reckon he's pretty pumped, to be honest. I was just talking to Mez the other night about it. Actually, it's like such a different change up. I grew up in a big family, 3 brothers and an older sister as well, and it's always been chaos. And then I've always lived with, like a couple of mates when I first moved to Melbourne. And then with the boys or a couple of cousins, I've always lived with a few people, and seems to be a bit of a madhouse. And now it's just Marianne and I, and it's like so different, so quiet, but it's a nice little change up, that's for sure. But we were speaking the other night about it, and it's kind of surreal. But I think Walshy's probably pretty happy he's finally got rid of me. I tend to be pretty messy at times, and he's a pretty clean sort of operator. But I'm very grateful for Walshy and Dowie. Lived with them for the last couple of years. 3 years now, I think. And yeah, we had a lot of fun times, that's for sure. But probably the last year and a bit anyway, I've sort of naturally spent a little bit more time with Marianne. So it probably isn't too much of a change up for him at the minute, I reckon. But I'll definitely be popping my head over there a fair bit, that's for sure.
Would it be more keen to get rid of you or get rid of Charlie Curnow?
I don't know.
I feel like Walshy's houses always get discussed on this podcast, by the way, but
does it? Yeah,
we'll
it seems
get over
like
it at some
if
point.
someone's in trouble, they end up there. Big Will Setterfield's moved back in now, so he'll be a bit of a character. But I'd like to think I'm easier to live with than Charlie, but I'd be probably up there. I know we had Charlie and I had our dogs that ripped up his backyard. He wasn't too happy about. He's pretty nice about it, but I reckon he was pretty mad about that one.
So you're
probably
saying,
fair enough.
Are you saying that you weren't a joy giver when you lived with Sam Walsh?
No, I was probably the joy taker.
But what does giver of joy actually mean?
Look, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So Vossi and Cripper sort of said this, but it was mainly Vossi who used the tagline "Giver of Joy" for you last year when things started getting on the improve for Carlton, and said you were the giver of joy behind the scenes, but you don't know exactly what that means, and you might have copped a bit of flack for it.
Yeah, it's probably just me terrible jokes, taking the piss out of myself really, and others. I like to not take myself too seriously, I suppose, at times, and take the mickey out of myself and others. But I think it was just a bit of a tough time, and just like a time where we needed a bit more joy, and I think there was another number of guys that actually helped with that. I was trying to do a bit more or work on my sort of leadership sort of skills last year, this year, and I think that was sort of one of my strengths, I think, and something I really wanted to sort of drive was that connection piece and giving back to others and the younger kids and bringing that joy and fun element to footy, because it is so hard, like during the season with the team form, personal form, so many different things, injuries, that sometimes you just need to take a bit of a step back and just to appreciate and enjoy all the little things. So I'm half thinking that's what the giver of joy means, but I don't really know how I did it. I just started taking the piss out of everyone, really.
So from what I take from that is your stance on leadership is make an idiot of yourself.
Yeah, basically it's pretty simple.
It's working for you, mate.
Yeah, I'm a simple man, mate.
Mr. Kennedy references on social media. We've used it a few times, and it probably comes as no surprise that there's a few wrestling fans amongst our social media team. Are you one? Were you one? Do you understand what on earth we're talking about?
Yeah, Mr. Kennedy. Even though it was similar, it's not similar, the exact same surname. He wasn't a fan.
Fact, his name's not actually Ken Kennedy. It's Ken Anderson.
Ken Anderson, but he's just Ken Kennedy for WWE purposes.
Yeah, well, that's a fun fact for you, for all those players.
I actually didn't know that, so thank you.
Yeah.
He's fraud.
Yeah. It's a fake
no wonder I didn't like him. I was a big WWE fan, wrestling fan. Who were my favourite? John Cena was obviously a big favourite. Randy Orton, Undertaker. Who else? Batista, Triple H.
Just the standard ones.
Yeah, just standard ones. We actually, bit of a story about... me and my other brother Nick, we got a trampoline for Christmas with the net around it.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, and my mum and dad, they own a small goods business, which was like delivering meat around the Riverina. So all the empty boxes would bring home. We use them as tables, and so we used to have wrestling matches on the trampoline. And me being the youngest, I was always the one that got put through the so-called table. But we had great memories growing up of wrestling on the trampoline, and normally me running inside crying to mum and for getting hurt by one of the other boys. But I can't say I watched it too much. Every now and then it comes on the TV and I'll have a bit of a look. I still remember Dad would walk through and he was, why are you watching this fake garbage? And I was convinced it was real.
It's not fake, it's scripted.
Yeah, scripted, whatever it is. But No, I absolutely loved it growing up. I still remember on Wednesdays and Fridays or on Monday Night Raw and stuff, getting off the school bus and running home to catch like the halfway through mark of it and all that. But never got to see the pay-per-views because we didn't get internet at home.
Main event, fair enough.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing, but Miss Kennedy, that's why I don't like him, because he's a fraud.
He's a fraud, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want this whole podcast to be about your mate Sam Walsh, but I do want to bring this up. Semi-final last year. Semi-final last year, kicks his first goal and does feels like finals weather, boys? Is that what the celebration was? That was for the first goal.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that his second goal at the start of the last quarter wouldn't have been the perfect time to debut the "You Can't See Me" celebration.
It should have been. Why was he that Sam Cena? Because of his haircut? At the
Yeah,
start
you're calling him John Cena at the start because of his shaved head.
Yeah, it should have been. Do you know the story behind that?
Please explain to the viewers.
We were just carrying on during the week. I think we're both pretty excited to be finally playing finals and stuff. And I was just being a smart ass. I was like, oh, does he hear that? He's like, whoa. He's like, that's finals, baby. Something like that, you know? And he's actually used it, and I can't believe it. I was like, why'd you do it? He's like, I was just in the moment. I was actually a bit flat at that because I gave him the handball, and he's actually
ran off for himself.
He's taken off. That's twice now. And was at his birthday game against Freo. I gave him one. He's kicked it from the boundary and done the old jazzy hands.
Yep.
I was chasing him in that one too as well, and he's just burnt me. Both times I couldn't catch him, so Walshy.
We might get the vision of that to overlay this.
Yeah, if you burn me 3 times, that's it. I'm never giving it to you again.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
Well, you called Walshy John Cena for a little bit there. You're a man of many nicknames around this place.
Yeah,
we've been
apparently
through Mr. Kennedy, which is probably more one for us.
Yeah.
I'll go through a few. I won't go through all of them. Chugger. That's one we also use on our social media pages a bit. Am I right in saying it's an uncle or something that kind of got this started?
Yeah, Uncle Chug. So there was, I think it was Murph and Daisy that sort of really started it, but it was after, I have no idea what game it was now, but we had a win, which was rare back in those days, and everyone was up and about after the win, and my Uncle Chug was in the room, and he was just getting around all the boys, introducing himself as Chugger, or Matt's uncle. And then on the Monday we came in and we were in the dressing rooms, and Murph goes to me, he's like, I think I met one of your uncles on the weekend. Was it Chug? And then about Daisy popped up. He's like, I met Chugger. And then 3-4 other boys is like, yeah, I met Chugger as well. And then footy, it's funny how nicknames can stick. So it's sort of just stuck around from that, Uncle Chug. And at the wedding, he was making sure he was getting around to all the boys saying, I'm the original Chugger. So he's the fake Chug. So he was letting everyone know at the wedding, which I thought was pretty funny. But
well, when you walked in and said the uncle was the priest, I assume Uncle Chug wasn't.
No, that is definitely, that's Uncle Rob. He's the bishop. Chug, he's pretty funny character. But yeah, I don't know how it stuck, but it has as well as a lot of other ones.
Actually, I'll ask one more.
Yeah,
Bam Bam.
Yeah,
that was the original nickname that you had.
That was the original when I was a lot younger. That was early days back at San Isidore, next door neighbours, Truman Carroll and Miles Carroll. They owned motorbikes and push BMX bikes, and we used to go over there and do jumps. And Truman Carroll, he was the eldest. He gave me and all my brothers nicknames, and I was Bam Bam because I was actually pretty short, little fat chubby little kid. So I got Bam Bam from the Flintstones, and that stuck with me till, probably 15, 16, and then a few other nicknames started to take over.
You spoke about this before, your faith, and how important it is to you. You've always been a practicing Catholic, but something that you touched on that in the last few years, particularly when your footy started to go back on the up, that it's something that you really turned to. Yeah,
I was probably, I struggled a fair bit there for a long time with my faith, and at that time I was sort of struggling with footy as well. I think it was just that sort of purpose I lacked in my life at the time. I was sort of a bit lost. I thought footy was everything, and in a little bit of a way I think I was a little bit selfish. It was just like all about me trying to have an AFL career, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, and it wasn't until I sort of took that back seat and stepped back, and realised what was important to me in my life. It was really sort of it was based around faith and family, and just being away from home, I think I lost that sort of family connection as well as my faith. And it's funny how things sort of worked in. I met my now wife Marianne at the time, and her family, they were obviously practicing Catholics, and they helped me sort of. I always went to mass, but I was probably sort of I was there, but I wasn't there, I suppose. When I attended mass and stuff, I was sort of just ticking a box. I wasn't really that invested in my faith, and yeah, it's funny. It sort of gave me that real purpose and drive, and made me realise that footy's definitely not everything. And if my faith is strong and my connection with my family is good, I've just found I'm normally pretty happy. It's not to say it's always perfect. There's always things in life that come up and you're stressed or whatnot. But no, I feel like I've got a really sound base when my faith is good. And now with my wife Marianne, obviously being my main family sort of focus point now, it's like if our relationship's good and we've both got our faith, like we're both pretty happy together, as well as our sort of families as well. So I think it just gives me that sort of, as I sort of touched on before, that purpose in life, and yeah, sort of, it's not always about me, it's about others as well, which I really enjoy. And Dad always sort of said it's sort of a bit of a simple sort of way to live your life, but he just sort of always said to us, you know, be good, say your prayers. Simple way to live, but really if you do those two things, if you're nice and be good and you got your faith, I guess, and you're saying your prayers, you know, things just seem to line up for you, and that was certainly in my case anyways. As soon as I sort of found my faith again, sort of footy just started taking off its own natural trajectory, I guess. I can't even pronounce that right.
I think you got there.
Yeah, I sort of half got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sort of grateful that I never lost my faith in a way, I guess, and things happened in my life where I was able to come back, and yeah, no, it's something I'm sort of passionate about and speaking about, because I think come through the system, it's one of those things you always want to fit in. I suppose there wasn't too many footballers that were practicing and or practicing their faith anyway. Not that's a bad thing, they're bad people, but it's just the way it was, and I think I was sort of a bit of a passion of mine to sort of try and be a bit more open about it, just in case there is, you know, that one or two kids that are struggling with their faith and don't know that it's perfectly natural to be a practicing Catholic and still live a normal life with others. So yeah, that's about it really.
And now you're the giver of joy.
And now I'm apparently the giver of joy, which whatever that means.
Well, giver of joy, but also do Mark Pitnet and Patrick Cripps agree with you?
Probably
twice
not.
last year there were cameras of just not they weren't fights. We weren't they were just a bit some bust ups at training, and you were involved in both of them.
Yeah, well, I'd like to say I reckon they started it.
Yep. And I think we do have vision of them being the ones to apologise to you afterwards. So I think they both know that.
Yeah. No, I think just last year, like, yeah, our training intensity definitely went up another level, and we wanted to train how we play, and I suppose I was just at the wrong spot at the wrong time, or maybe I just went a bit too hard. But no, I actually really enjoy it, having those like competitive little battles at training. And the best thing about our group at the moment is, like, with both Cripper and Pitto, you know, we're all good mates, and you know it's not personal. Like, I think we were there last year, especially I remember the Pitto one, like, most recently. Remember at the time, like, fighting him, I sort of half had a smile on my face as well, and literally, like...
I reckon there's a photo of Cripper in the background with a massive smirk on his face when it's happening.
Yeah, like, you know, everyone knows it's actually not too personal. It's just that competitive juice at the time. I remember going to Pitto and thanking him after for not actually belting me, because I remember, like, having his jump, and I was like, oh, what have I got myself into here? I was just hoping he didn't, like, flick the switch and lose it. Otherwise, he would have absolutely destroyed me. So I'm pretty grateful that both of them didn't want to actually take to the next level. Otherwise, I reckon I would have been in a little bit of trouble. I need to start picking on, like, a little Binsey or something, picking me in battles a little bit better.
Well, that was the week of the first final. That was the elimination final just beforehand. Was it just sending a message that if we're going to do this to our teammates,
yeah,
what are we going to do to you guys?
Well, I think Pitto and I will both come back from injury, so we were just saying, right, Vossi, we're both serious. Come on, mate. Pick one of us. He picked Pitto.
Well, he picked you the week after.
Oh, yeah, he did. So
can we... take us into the discussions this pre-season. Are you going to return to the forward line? glory days of 2019 where you were kicking
Look,
forward.
I do enjoy a snaggy and the carry on after it, but no, I'm pretty happy alongside the midfield group at the minute. So I'm still doing most of my training there, but I think there's a bit of an emphasis on, trying to play dual roles as well. So trying to definitely actually learn a bit more craft forward, but still main role will be in and around the midfield. So hopefully don't get shafted yet, because there's a lot of good young kids coming up. Big Ollie and Binsey, they're both put on a little bit more weight, but trained the house down really well. Young Billy, who we've drafted, he's looking super fit and strong. He can go through there, and he's been training with us at the minute. So it's really exciting. Big Elijah as well. He's running unreal. So it's actually good. Like, you need that competition for spots, and you can definitely see, well, like since when I first got here to now, that the intensity at training has just gone through the roof because there is that competition for spots, which is good. And I think where we all get along really well, where we're all hungry to sort of motivate each other, but we're also happy for everyone's success, which is pretty unique and special, I think anyway, that we're sort of close enough to be able to do that.
I spoke to Corey Durden yesterday. I think the chat's coming out on Friday, and it was a very similar rhetoric to that. Like, those small forwards are extremely close. Durds and Motts are inseparable.
Yeah.
Matty Owis is always there. Razio Fantasia's come in.
Yeah.
They're also close and want the best for each other, but then they also know that they're fighting for the same spot.
Yeah.
And the inside midfield group is also very similar. How does that work with you, especially when someone like Sam Doherty decides he just wants to be a midfielder for that?
Yeah,
specific
bloody hell,
week?
Doc. You're making it harder for us. Yeah. I think it's good, and it shows a lot of maturity in the group as well, I suppose, and just like to the individual's credit as well, to have so many guys that are so close fighting for the same spot. We know that we're only, and we speak about a lot, is making each other a better teammate. And if we're close and still fighting for the same spot, we're only making each other better, really. And I think the thing is, to win a grand final, it's not just the 22. You need a lot of depth because of injury and form and so many different reasons. You need a lot of players to get there. So I think everyone's just got a really good attitude at the minute, and I suppose it comes from the top down and the messages you're given, and I think Vossi and the coaches have been unbelievable at just saying, well, whoever works the hardest and is perform will get rewarded, and that comes along with blokes working hard, but also being happy and humble enough to just say, righto, I'm not there yet and I need to get better, which it's credit to the group, I think, and also the leaders like Cripper, Weeders and Walshy. They set a very high standard, and when the blokes at the top are working as hard as anyone, it just filters down. So
take us inside the discussions when you were playing on Jake Lever in that semi-final. Did you put your hand up? Did the coaches come to you? Was it half 6 of one, half a dozen of the other? Or?
Yeah, well, they said, do you want the role? And I was like, well, if it means I'm in the team, I'll happily play it. But yeah, it was a funny start because I started on the bench and I think he had a couple of inset marks. And I was like, oh, geez, he's flying. And then I came on and literally we won the centre bounce and he took an intercept on me. So I'm just standing there, hands on the mark, thinking, oh, boy.
It's a long night.
It's not the start you want. But after that, we were able to sort of turn around a bit. And it's so good, like in the off-season, it definitely fuels that motivation to come back in good condition, because the amount of stories I heard from people in the crowd or family member that were out that game, and it was just like the highlight of their life. And it's really humbling being able to hear those sort of stories of, parents taking their kids to the game, and that thought of inspiring the next generation. We sort of speak about that a little bit. It's very cool. So, hopefully we can continue to do it. But as Vossi sort of has touched on, it comes off the back of hard work and as much success, I suppose, we had last year. There's still a lot of hard work to be done and improvement to be had.
It was a blur that night.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets about unmistakably going for glory in the last 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Could have picked the ball up, repeat stoppage inside 50, just close the game out, or try and soccer it through for 30 metres to seal the game?
I remember as soon as I kicked it and went through for a point, I was like, oh no, I've cost us the game because I've given him the ball back. And then when that siren went, it was just absolute relief because it was like, oh, I thought I just cost us the game. If they went down the other end and scored, I was like, oh, I'm going to be absolutely killed.
We probably wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Yeah, I
right
wouldn't
now.
be on this well. I'd be daily. I would be shafted. I would have got the boot, and probably fair enough. But yeah, that was ultimate relief for me. So, oh well, you live and die by the sword, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, watching on last year, so you got injured in that Freo game, and that was the one where Jacob Wiedering said since that was where he started to sense like the shift of belief for the players. So you're watching on, seeing the team still going on the winning run, and you're going, this is great, but also, am I going to get back in?
Yeah, they seemed to turn around when I went out, didn't they?
Turned around before you got out.
Yeah, we'll
Mate.
say that.
But were you watching on going, this is great, but also...
I think it's sort of what I touched on before. It was, it's that humility piece of, being happy for everyone's success and seeing the joy and how happy all the boys were. And I've been here through like a lot of difficult times, and that's just not good for anyone. You play the sport to obviously win, and just seeing how happy all the boys were, and there was a lot of great stories within that of blokes overcoming adversity, and like Cunners and Fogg, been through a lot of injuries. Marshbank coming back, Kotz, who's been on the rookie list for 4 years or something, and playing great footy. So there's so many great individual stories through all that come together. It was awesome to see. But like you touched on before, there is that sort of thought or that thing in the back of your mind thinking, well, how can I get back in the team? And I think for me, it was just a bit of a motivator to make sure I did all my rehab and all that right to hopefully get back and be a part of it. And so that was sort of the attitude I took. It was just, whatever I could do to make sure I kept myself fit. And it was probably good for me because it got me back probably quicker than what I would have, just because of that hunger to try and give myself a chance of getting back, I guess. But it was a lot better than losing, that's for sure.
Yep.
So, we had a fair bit of scrutiny the start of the year, so it was really enjoyable. I absolutely loved it.
We don't need any motivation on this show to pivot to David Cunningham conversation.
Yeah,
and
I've been warned about this.
yes,
Yeah.
and you mentioned him there, so that's the perfect segue.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
You've been with him for a while.
Yeah.
At this footy club. We still don't know anything about him. He
So-
was a DJ at one point, loves a horror kit. We know this. Do you have anything else on the number 28?
We got the same manager.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. We have the same manager. But Cunners, he's a unique individual, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's there, but you don't really hear him, do you?
No, you don't.
Nah.
So we tried to get him on here last year, and we thought we had him, and then he said no.
Yeah, that sounds
So then we had to
about
replace him with Sam Walsh for the last episode. But we're going to try and get him on at some point. That's my promise to our Carlton members who are listening.
Yeah. Mate, good luck to you. If you get him on, I'll be very impressed.
I'm not sure to go for half an hour, but we'll get there.
Nah.
Well, we don't know much about Cunners off the field.
Yeah.
What about you off the field? Are you a movie man, for example?
Yeah, I'd say I'm more of a movie man than TV series,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to get into a couple of TV series.
Like that classic Al Pacino movie, Sacrifice?
You're funny. You're funny. Yeah, but let's not go into that story. That's terrible. Did Walshy tell you this?
Okay, I can't confirm or deny.
Yeah, I know he has. Yeah, look, grammar isn't my strongest. That's to say the least. I've had a few mares. I had a really bad mare the other day in gym, actually. I've walked in and said training in pairs, and I've come in and I've gone, why are we training in Paris? Why is training in Paris up there? And no one caught on to it. And then when Walshy heard Stevie say, he tried to throw me under the bus, but no one actually got the gag.
No one engaged.
So no one engaged. So he kind of looked like the idiot when really it was me. So I was actually pretty pumped with that one. I had a blunder.
Were you
and I
maybe
got
like
away
hungry,
with it.
were you hungry at the time and you weren't thinking straight?
Nah, just as I said, it's not my strongest point.
Okay.
Can I say?
But if you were hungry, what genre of food would you want to go for?
Yeah, you're funny. Walshy's giving you a bit of info.
He's giving me a bit. Thank you,
Yeah.
Whopper.
Nah, well done, Warp. Dog.
Do you mean cuisine of food? I
Yeah,
assume.
look, I've had a few mares.
Yeah, that's
But
okay.
I got to think before I speak
Yeah.
sometimes. I just whip it out there and I just throw myself under the bus. Don't
But
I?
you can laugh at yourself better than anyone.
Well, exactly. As I said, I'm pretty good at giving people info to take the piss out of me.
I've got a few others, but I won't. I'll just limit
look,
it
we
to
could
two.
be here for a while.
Yeah,
We'll
I'll
keep going down this
limit
path,
it at
so
two.
We'll leave it at those two.
We'll finish off with the last few. So top three, You've got into a scrap with Pitto. You've got into a scrap with Cripper. Who are the top 3 teammates you would not want to get a scrap with? Because I reckon you've gone for 2 of the bigger ones early.
Well, I reckon I'd start with those 2.
Yeah. So give me 3
Pitto.
others that you wouldn't want to...
3 others. Well, I'd love to fight him as well, but I wouldn't. Is Weeders. He's just got a very punchable head, don't you reckon?
I'm not saying yes.
Yeah, well, you know, he does. You'd just love to fight him.
But you wouldn't want to fight him?
No, I wouldn't. Oh, can I go who I'd love to fight?
Yeah, let's go.
So
why not?
Weeders, we'll change it up. So Weeders, but I'd actually also hate to fight. Newey, he just chirpy.
Yep.
He's got a little bit complacent too since finishing second. He's been in half the drills.
Are you trying to start a fight in the podcast, are you?
Yep. Yeah, we'll get a few more fights. So Newey's another. Who else?
Just
there's
those
a
2,
few.
mate.
Nah, there's a few. Don't worry. I've got a list. I've been in a few fights with Walshy actually. So,
I've seen one of those, actually.
Yeah.
It's great fun.
Yeah. No,
And again, I reckon he started it as well. Or did he
I-
sling you, or was it the other way around?
No, I slung tackle him once and he wasn't happy, so he threw the first. Oh, I suppose he started then. It was like accidental.
Yep.
And then he wasn't happy, and then I retaliated. Then it was pretty childish.
Funny, though.
Yeah, we can laugh about it now. And then a third. Probably Cotters, because I reckon I would have him.
Okay.
Yeah, but that would be
He'd
fun.
run rings around you, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I reckon that would actually be quite interesting.
Once you get your hands on him.
Yeah, once I get him, I reckon I might be a chance.
We'll pivot away from wanting to fight your team,
Yeah,
mate.
right,
We'll go with a wholesome answer to finish off.
Yeah, right, let's do that.
Last question for the Summer Sessions podcast, and thanks for being here, by the way.
Thank you.
I think it was worth the wait.
Yeah, I hope so.
Matt Kennedy, why do you play football?
Why do I play footy? Well, to win a flag would be nice.
Yep.
But besides that, as you sort of mentioned before, like it was the stage there, I almost got the flick. So I'm very grateful for the second opportunity. I guess it's just trying to enjoy all the little things, and maybe that's why I'm the giver of joy. I just try and enjoy like the locker room, the banter in that, even just all the training sessions. I remember sort of in my first few years here, everything was just hard work and kind of felt like work. But now it's just that real enjoyment of just enjoying the training, the hard work, and just being in and around the club and being with everyone, because it's a pretty awesome job really, and you're hanging around with like 40 of your best mates. And
Walshy.
Yeah, and Walshy, who's not a friend. He used to be. Yeah, he's an enemy. No, it's just, I enjoy footy, just the sort of social sort of side of it, really. Obviously, like, probably footy's number one, like the competing and that sort of common goal for the ultimate success. But no, I enjoy all the little things that footy, or the little things that footy comes with. So, yeah, it's a bit of a broad answer, but
That's a lovely note to finish on, I reckon.
yeah. No, we'll finish on something nice.
Yeah,
eh?
after potting your teammates for half an hour. That seems good.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
thank you for joining the show. And I asked Ollie this last week. If you could nominate someone to hopefully have on the podcast at some point, who would it be?
Have you had any past players?
No, we haven't actually.
Ed Kerno, like he's
I'm not sure I can put myself through that.
yeah, that'd
But
be hard.
I don't mind that, though. We'll see if that
Yeah,
works.
like, it's just a thought, keep them connected.
Yep.
Who else? Cruiser, he's in around the.
He's
yeah.
around enough. He's a
Yeah.
okay.
Would he give you much though, Cruz? He's a pretty simple man.
He was on with Murph last year, and I think if he's going to give, he'll give Murph much more than he'll give me.
true.
So I reckon. But
Right.
Ed Kerno might be a
right.
go. We'll see how that goes.
Current players.
Yep.
Who? I'm a big fan of the show.
Yeah,
so
you
I've
said you're a
watched
fan
many.
of the show. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think who hasn't been on.
You've lost count.
Yeah. We'll just stick with Cunners then. Eh?
Yeah, fair enough. We'll get him on.
Yeah, get on Cunners.
Thanks, Jugger.
No worries, Critter. Thanks, mate. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you, mate. Good on you.